So, I never thought I would actually make a video that's kind of contextualized in this way. And also, this is not a scripted video, which is odd for my Doctor Who videos, but this is also a Blu-ray update, so there's really no point in writing a script. So hopefully nobody will bitch that I sound like a robot. Unless, of course, I sound like a robot, but be honest, I really don't care. Okay, so my Doctor Who DVD and Blu-ray collection. If you've been following this channel for, well, close to a decade, you'll know that this is probably what I upload, or at least in the past, these videos are what I've made, filmed, uploaded, more than probably anything else. Not so much now. But my collection is probably coming to an end for various reasons, which I'll get into in a minute. But when we look at new series Doctor Who complete sets, actually I'll just put this one up, which was the first one I got, later replaced with the Blu-ray, which actually looks really good. But yeah, so in the past, new series would come out. I'd usually watch it in a matter of days, and then watch it over and over again as the years progress. If you see this set, it's actually beat to hell because it's been watched so many times over the years. I didn't bother replacing this when I got the Blu-ray, mainly for nostalgic reasons. So, and yes, sorry, you can hear my dog in the background. She's hyper today. Okay, so focus of this video. Well, she's coming in here to say hi. Okay, so the focus of this video, as I put it up, we have Doctor Who, the complete 10th series Blu-ray. I'm just going a little bit tighter on this. There we go. Okay, so the complete 10th series Blu-ray. Many of you are asking why I bought this. In many ways, I'm actually asking why I bought this. I guess there were a couple reasons. One, probably for completion's sake. I have every existing episode of Doctor Who going back to The Unearthly Child on either DVD or Blu-ray, and there was the compulsion aspect. The other is the fact that even though I don't like this series at all, it still has Peter Capaldi. And one thing that I actually would like to show, if you like Peter Capaldi, or at least Series 8 Peter Capaldi, here's a series that I highly recommend you check out. The Thick of It, political drama, which aired for 4 seasons between 2005 and 2012. This is a masterpiece of British television, and really on the BBC we don't see anything of this caliber being made anymore. I just wanted to throw that in there. But when Capaldi was cast, and we'll go back to this, when Capaldi was first cast, I think many of us thought that this was the best thing that could have happened to the program. He is the best actor to ever play the Doctor, in my opinion. I'm going to be putting up a video at some point in the near future on the wasted opportunity of Peter Capaldi. But as bad as the series is, and keep in mind this is my opinion, if you like this series, I'm perfectly happy for you. I know not everybody shares the same opinion. But we still have Capaldi, even though he largely seems to be playing a completely different character than he was in Series 8. But as for the series itself, I pre-ordered it. Like phone's going off. Probably more people yelling at me on YouTube, but I'm used to that now. So I had pre-ordered this, ended up canceling my pre-order, then ended up just buying it through Amazon Marketplace because it was a little bit cheaper. But to be honest, thinking about it, I think it's still more than I would have wanted to spend on this, but it was as cheap as British television got. I've tried watching a few episodes. I haven't finished any of them. I've ended up turning them off. I think what I'm eventually going to do is get myself a pad, paper, and a pen, and go through it and take notes and do a very detailed analysis of everything that is wrong in this series. If you're wondering what my views are on Doctor Who as it stands right now, I've got many videos on this channel about it. But of course, I'm going to do what I do in every video, because if I don't, I'll get yelled at. Not that I really care. You can call me whatever name you want. I've got thicker skin than that. But yeah, so my issues right now are not with the fact that Jodie Whittaker, Doctor Number 13, is a woman. It's with the ideology that's behind the show, both especially strongly apparent in Series 9 and Series 10. One of the reasons why I don't care much for this series. And I'm catching things that I didn't even catch on first watching this. So there's a lot there that needs to be analyzed. So here we've got the set, and got a frog in my throat. But going into why this is probably my last complete series, unless series 2, 3, and 4 finally get a Blu-ray release. There are region-free versions out there, but I'd rather just have a full region 1 edition that's not quite as expensive. But why is this going to be probably, not definitely, but probably my last complete series of Doctor Who? Well, I don't like where the show is going. A lot of people don't. We could also be proven wrong in this, but I think more and more it's becoming apparent that we're actually correct in our fears. That things could turn around completely, but I just don't see it at this point. I wanted to partially just to complete Capaldi's run, Twice Upon a Time. Even if I hate it, I'm also going to get that as well, which may be damn throat, which may be very likely the end of my Doctor Who collection. If Series 11 turns into what many of us think it's going to turn into, honestly, why would I want to pick up something that's going to be even more of a SJW morality tale? Also, I've covered this in other videos, but the way the production team and other fans have treated anybody that shows even the slightest degree of skepticism is also questionable, and then, you know, just leads to the question of why would I want to support this further? And even by purchasing this, I think I'm being hypocritical, and I'm fully willing to admit that. But it was more for completion's sake. At this point, I don't think it was worth what I paid for it, but now I've opened it, so it's going to be here. I haven't watched the extras. To be honest, I don't think I can stomach watching the extras, but I will, and that's going to be part of my eventual overview of this. And if we want to take a look at the set, so this is the front, and also if we want to compare it to what I think was the last good series of Doctor Who Series 8. This has been in other videos. But yeah, so even the packaging is not quite what it was. It had always been Digipacks. Now it's just basically, at least it has a slipcover. The set itself is just a regular keep case. I don't know. I think this is neither here nor there. It's kind of nitpicking. But I think it was also telling that I couldn't actually find this anywhere locally. Nobody seemed to be carrying it. I haven't looked at what sales figures are for this, but I'd be willing to assume it's not equivalent with the previous 9 series. Now, if you want to just take a look inside. Apparently I've got some comic codes. I might actually check those out. Yeah, so we also have a little ad here, Doctor Who, Twice Upon a Time. watch it on Space. For those of you that don't know, Space is Canada's science fiction channel, owned by the CTV network. They've been airing Doctor Who since the Matt Smith years. Prior to that, it was on CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, which is just as bad as the BBC, and that could be a subject for an entirely different video. Then we've got Doctor Who, BBC Shop, and if we want to look at the inside, so basically no backing, just the episodes itself. I've partially watched the first 4 episodes on this disc. Return of Dr. Mysterio, which I still think is the worst thing Doctor Who has ever put out. The pilot, which I didn't mind on first viewing, but there's so many other subtle things in there. It's going to be the subject of its own video. Smile, which was terrible. I didn't finish that. And Thin Ice, I think I turned off 20 minutes in. And at some point I'll watch it. I will watch these episodes in their entirety, because if I'm going to do a legitimate critical analysis of this series, I need to, well, it's dishonest if I don't watch them, even though I've seen them before, but I'm going to take a different look. Then we've got Disc 4, looks inside, the fan show, which, frankly, I think it's terrible, the after show. Even if we look at special features. Anybody remember when we had Doctor Who Confidential, which eventually became hour-long, they were broadcast as hour-long documentaries on each episode, and then we would have the cut-down versions on the Blu-ray. But here on the back, so what do we have for extras? A new kind of hero, becoming the companion. We probably all know what that's going to be about. Commentary, 3D binaural audio for Knock Knock. I might be interested in checking that out just out of curiosity. Deleted scenes. 6 Doctor Who extras. That's basically just what Doctor Who Confidential became. Just very short, like 5 minutes. Apparently this year they only did 6. 6 inside looks, and 12 the fan show, the after show. Yeah, I might need a few drinks to get through that. But anyways, I try and keep my my Blu-ray overviews separate from the more political, I don't even know if I really want to call it that, but the more topical videos on this channel. But this is where they intersect. This is also a very rambling video, very different from any of the other Doctor Who DVD and Blu-ray overviews I've done. But I just, when I look at the show back in 2005, I absolutely love Series 1. When I look at the introduction of Matt Smith, the David Tennant years, Series 8, I just don't know how it turned into the mess that it's turned into right now. And with Capaldi, there was so much potential there. There was so much they could have done with the show. And they largely seem to have given up after Series 8. And one thing that is actually just, if you have the series, or if you've watched any Series 10 episodes, try this little experiment. Watch an episode from Series 10. Look at the way Capaldi's portraying the Doctor, then compare it to really any episode from Series 8. It's a completely different character. And I don't fault Capaldi for this. I fault the BBC and the showrunners, who right now are running the show into the ground. So all these other things that I've touched on in this video, you can look at them in more detail on other videos on this channel, and others are going to be videos coming forward. But as I always examine these sets, I'll examine this one. In some ways, probably the end of an era. And that's it. So, sorry for the tone of this video. And yeah, if I'm still questioning whether it was worth buying this. I probably could have spent the money on a couple Scream Factory editions or Scream Factory releases or really anything, but it was more or less the compulsion I want to complete my series to the end, or my collection to the end of the Capaldi era. And with that, that's everything for this video. So, as always, everybody, thank you for watching, and have a good day.